Our margin for error is the slimmest it's been since I walked on this campus. And, you know, you got to give our kids some credit. They fought back, they didn't quit, all those good things that you think about. The halfway point, our dreams and goals are within reach. You think about that now. You got to be there before you can reach them. You got to be in a position to reach them. And right now, our dreams and goals are in reach. So let's make sure that we put all our effort in, win this game, and we move on. All right, that's what we are. We're kind of like NCAA tournament, you know, win in advance.
It's Michigan State and Penn State, and the Spartans are now without Keith Appling thanks to his wrist injury that's been bothering him over the past couple of months.
Their goals have not changed. Big Ten championship, and they are dreaming of a national championship down in Texas.
Valentine with a floater down the lane is up, and it's in, and that's your first two of this basketball game. Costello, he's back and jack in. Little left-handed hook shot is good.
With the left hand there on that jump hook. Great play there by Costello.
Kaminsky drains a tray. So the round of applause you're hearing is because at the bench to come in is Adreian Payne. Now to Payne. Here's his first shot in a long time. Nothing but net. Tip Payne, yes!
The defense was great to cut off penetration there by Newbill, and Harris, a big guard, made it tough for Frazier to shoot that shot.
And a rebound on the inside, Kaminsky. Good hands by Valentine.
Danzel brings it down, flips Kaminsky for a wide open tray. He got it!
Great range does Kenny Kaminsky. It is what Michigan State basketball has always been about. Being active and just being tougher, more physical on the glass. 3 opportunities to score before they were able to put it in. From the corner. He's got the hot hand, doesn't he? Payne lost his man and put it up with ease.
Yeah, I'll give Penn State credit. They came out in the last 5 minutes and just have been very aggressive.
Ball finally gets across the timeline. In the wing, 4-3, Danzel Valentine, he drains it.
And that block was by Gary Harris off the baseline. What a great block by the guard on the big fella.
Yeah, wait till it gets to 10. We're at 10. Here we go. Trice dribbles now. Bullet pass down road. A wide open Costello. Count the slam.
And Costello finishes, but Trice delivered.
The baseline now. Valentine to flip it in for Michigan State.
Harris now, just inside the arc, and he gets it to drop right in, smooth as could be.
A lot of patience that time by Matt Costello.
Penn State showed a 2-3 zone. Great pass by Payne, and nice finish by Costello.
And there's Costello again. Harris from the corner. Gary Harris makes it look easy, doesn't he? And good work with Valentine, and then he gets it back out to Trice. How about Valentine flying in for the rebound and heads up to pass it right back out.
Kaminsky wide open for a 3 out front, off the glass and in. So MSU back-to-back trays. What a block by Schilling. Now here's Kaminsky for another 3. Oh my goodness, from NBA range, he got another one.
Valentine pushes on the other end, and Schilling follows and cleans it up.
A held ball, and MSU will get it. Man, oh man, Tom Izzo's fired up.
Fired up with his freshman Elvin Ellis. He loves it.
Pass goes over to Payne. Now to Ellis for a 3. He got it. Wow.
Championship caliber team, loaded, talented players making a decision to commit to return here with a purpose and goals.
Now Now to Wetzel for a 3-ball. He got it! He got it! What an impressive performance this evening against a red-hot Penn State team.
That's why I try to bring guys around here that won championship.
That I've been watching Michigan State basketball for a long time, and primarily because I come and I watch the coaches coach. Probably is well orchestrated, a group that work well together, and the teams play so tough because they're fundamentally sound. And that's the key really in our game too. We have to be really sound from a fundamental standpoint. When you do the fundamentals well, all the little things are the things that count. What that old saying, take care of the little things, the big things will take care of themselves. That's how you win championships, right? And you guys do it very, very well. Pleasure to watch you today. Pleasure to watch the coaches coach and do their job, and hope to see a lot of you here in the next couple months or so.
3 on 3, 1, 2, 3. Family!
When I step on the basketball court, you know, I'm just out there trying to, you know, dominate and, you know, playing defense, just bring a lot of energy and help my team to win.
Came into the season, preseason first team All-America.
Payne, very patient inside. 2 shot fakes, second shot fake, cleared space for him, and he went up and made. As a senior, game like this, post man, that's where you need to be. Payne delivers.
Boy, he has just been so money.
How many 6'11" guys do you see making a move like that with a pull-up jumper off one dribble from the corner? That was big time.
Jump shooter, rebounder, about 12 feet over the rim, can post up.
I love watching Adreian Payne play. He's such a great athlete, and when he was a freshman, sophomore, his athleticism was what stood out about him. Now it's his skill. He can step away and shoot it. He rebounds, he blocks shots. He's become more of a complete player, and he's very productive when he's on the floor. That to me is the measure. That it's very rare when he steps on the floor that he doesn't produce, and he's done it playing in pain. No pun intended. Like he's been hurt, and he's fought through it, and he's had times where he could have raised a fist and come out, and he doesn't do it. He plays through it. That's been impressive.
Electric, long, game-changing, demoralizing for the other team sometimes.
If you look at AP, he's gained strength every year, you know, and that's really helped his game. And then halfway through last year, you know, he just started to get a lot of confidence in his shooting. And now he's become an inside and outside, I think a player that's going to play a lot of basketball in the years to come. And fun to see him develop, and yet the injury has set him back a little bit. But he's been a very good assistant coach, which has helped his maturity, I think, even more when he gets back, as he comes into those days when he's going to start playing a lot more.
But he's definitely taken on more of a coaching, mentorship type role. I think he sees the game different. He's a kid that really thinks the game now. And I'm interested to see if he'll carry some of that stuff that he picked up while he was sitting out, carry it back on the court with him. I hope, hopefully it'll stick with him, because you definitely see the game different when you're out.
I've been very impressed. It just wasn't in his nature. You know, he's always a good guy, great guy, in fact, but didn't seem to possess those kind of skills. And, you know, and yet he's so good with young kids. He's so good with, you know, Lacey, the girl that he's kind of embraced. And but to see him do it to players means he's, I think, getting more confident in himself, you know, and that too is fun to see.
I think my presence on the court defensively helps the team a lot, because I'm able to block shots, rebound, and, you know, change shots in the lane, and just be out there on the court. And I think my offense is helped the team a lot, because it's hard for the team to double. When they double, I can kick it out to Gary, you know, other players, and it just make it hard for them to guard us.
I still think my favorite memory was when they won the national championship. I heard so much about Magic Johnson and Gregory Kelser and all the guys, and then to be in Salt Lake City watching a team from the state of Michigan, who I had always admired Michigan State. We had a couple guys in football way before me that came here, and so I was just a state fan. That was a pretty exciting time.
I didn't get to see Magic play there. You know, that's obviously my favorite Spartan of all time. But I like Mo Pete a lot. He just always had that emotion and that heart, and you could just tell he wanted it so much. And he just wanted it. That's what I liked about him: his drive and his emotion, his passion for the game. He stepped up and make big plays, and he's a great guy. Talking to him now, and I just love watching him play back in the 2000 when they won the national championship. And he'll always be a great Spartan. His jersey was retired, and Mo Pete's a great guy.
I was definitely a fan of Drew Neitzel, just because of the way he played, how he was kind of smaller, but he didn't let that stop him. So I was definitely a Drew Neitzel fan growing up.
Drew Neitzel definitely stands out as in that Drew Neitzel team. And I can't remember which game it was, but he just carried them. He had like 7 threes or something. And he was phenomenal that his junior year.
His heart and his work ethic, I mean, you could definitely tell he put a lot of time in, and he definitely was skilled, and that was something you could tell that he worked on. And that was something I kind of look forward to, and I mean, you got to give him a lot of credit.
It was Shannon and Mo Ager. I think it was a game when Shannon, took that one-handed dunk that he always does, and he did it over one guy for Penn State, and I was like 4 rows back from the bench. And so I got to see it up close, and he got up high, and it was a good time.
I remember coming up and just noticing how good the Izzo was, even when, that time we were kind of struggling with our schedule and our team was struggling. The Izzo was still into it, and the crowd was still into it.
I always liked watching the Flintstones. Just kind of came out with this a passion to win. They always played so hard all the time, and that's basically the principles of my dad. Grew me up on, and knowing just go out, play as hard as you can all the time, and leave it all on the floor.
Tim Bograkis, because he was a walk-on, I could relate with that, and he kind of moved his way up the charts. It all worked because he was a grinder. He played hard, and he did everything the right way. So, just kind of karma that it works out that he's the one hitting that big shot, even though he wasn't really known as a shooter. I've seen that a couple times and talked to him about it, and how it's something that nobody expected to happen, and then he makes that shot, and people will never forget that game.
Oh, for me, there's no question it was magic. I grew up watching him and watching the Lakers, and I always wanted to kind of be like Magic, and signed here with Michigan State. And I remember the first time I met him in the summer when we were playing open gym, and that's when he was still playing. He'd come back and play with us, and it was pretty neat because he walked up, he's like, "Hey, young fella," and Mr. Stevens, and I was just elated that he even knew my name, and to kind of form a relationship with him and talk to him now, for me, that's been awesome. Yeah, he's the guy that most of us look up to here in our program. And then you got a Greg Kelser, obviously, that has done tremendous things with the broadcasting, and I think he was someone that you could look up to from a standpoint that he did it both academically and athletically. And what better role model would have than someone like him?
It's kind of cool, actually. A guy that you kind of looked up to growing up and saw him playing and was kind of a fan of him, to actually be friends with him now and talk to him. We still text back and forth, and to be able to be in contact with a guy like that, it's pretty cool.
I remember my first Tuesday, Thursdays, guys used to play at night. When I came here as a GA, my job was to open up the gym. And Irvin was, of course, a 5-year pro by then. And so one of my jobs, even in August, was to open the gym so that he could come in and work out. And it was amazing. He'd work out in the morning, and one day he was a guard, and he would just do guard drills. And then on that Tuesday, Thursday, he'd play guard. Sometimes he'd be a center, and he'd work in his hook shot and all the center moves. And on that Thursday night, he'd play center. And just amazing, no ego. Worked hard, was already a MVP of the league, was already won a championship, and he still worked harder than any guy I've ever known.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's amazing that I'm in a situation now where I've befriended these guys. If I was out seeing someone that knows about my first name, that's pretty cool. And it's just that I get to talk to them about, they get to tell me stories about when they played, what I need to work on, because of course I'm going to take advice from them. They're the greatest players ever play here.
It's always interesting when you see somebody for the first time that you've only seen from on TV. Anytime you do that, it's it humanizes them. And guys like Mateen, you talk to Mateen and he knows who you are, and he talks to you, and it's he relates with you and all the stories you've had. That's really cool because you looked up to him.
It's cool, to see one of the players you looked up to, and get to talk to them about their memories, and finally you're in their shoes. I'm not, I'm wearing the same jersey or in the same era as he was, but I'm in, Spartan basketball.
I've kind of changed over the years in what I look for in recruiting. I mean, you got to look for great players and size and speed at the position and all that thing. That's pretty basic, but trying to find guys who you think are going to continue to get better.
Of course, we're looking for skills that relate to that particular position, but for us, it's really toughness and character.
The game is evolving a little bit. You don't see the true centers anymore, so the more players you can have that on your team that have that kind of versatility, a 6'7", 6'8", guy that's a guard forward type player that can guard multiple positions and can put the ball on the floor, be able to shoot it. I think that's more where the game's headed, even at the NBA level.
How good is he in the classroom? And the other intangible is his toughness, and toughness is defined in many, many ways, but ultimately we want a guy that can handle the heat, that can persevere through the difficult times that every player will have at any place.
I always love guys that could play more than a couple positions, the 6'3" to 6'6" guy who could play point guard, forward, or even power forward like Denzel Valentine has to do for us now at times. He has incredible versatility.
Here's Valentine, can play so many different positions, a great rebounder for a guard and a gifted passer as well.
Look at a guy, Allen Anderson, who played all 5 positions or basically all 4 positions, or David Thomas, who did the same. Morris Peterson played 3 positions. Charlie Bell played 3 positions. Jason Richardson played 4 positions. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And when you can do that, you on the defensive end in particular, you present a lot of problems for people because you can switch things and you match up size-wise, and you're able to take people right out of their offense, and then offensively you become a matchup nightmare.
We want teams to be able to, when they recruit, to think about us and how they're going to match up against us.
We're looking for kids that will go to the floor for a loose ball. We're looking for kids that don't mind giving up their bodies. We're looking for kids that are gym rats and want to work. We're looking for blue-collar guys.
Whistles. They got to untangle a lot of humanity there. 25-point lead, and Coach Izzo loves that kind of scrappy hustle play.
I'm always telling my guys, we got to find guys who love the game, who want to get better, and we think we're going to have the work ethic to get better.
Personality trait that we must have is guys that will rise to the occasion, and the other part is put in the time. Self-motivation.
A kid that's going to be competitive, going to be tough, going to be a great teammate. Going to have a stable background and, be a contributor that we think is going to come in and bring something to our university, not just a basketball program, but to the university overall. And that's what we kind of strive for in recruiting.
Regular season meeting between these two teams, Michigan State and Wisconsin. We'll take it inside. The spin. Kaminsky holds his ground. Payne banks it in. Payne. Pump fake. Hard drive. Oh! Big finish.
Has the ball partially blocked by Frank Kaminsky and somehow muscled that ball off the glass and in.
Valentine gets it ahead. Ellis all the way for the scoop to the hoop.
Harris working around. Bounce pass in the side. Little 12-foot jump shot from the wing by Adreian Payne is good. Ball circles around, and the backcourt pass intercepted by Harris, and he slams it.
I think Gary Harris will take it. A great steal defensive play by Gary Harris.
Long rebound. Harris tracks it down in a fast break. Harris will do it himself for the throwdown.
Trice has it to Payne. Down the lane he goes. Bank shots away. Good, and he's fouled.
Payne, the offensive board. Adreian Payne. He is a man in there. My goodness. A chance at a three-point play.
We're on the move the other way. Down court pass. Costello runs the lane, lays it up, and it's in.
Ellis gives it up. Nice look for Matt Costello on the inside. Ellis, the follow, untouched on the weak side.
What a move by the freshman.
What a play by Trice. Acrobatic. And an opportunity for three.
Hayes has it, drives the baseline on Costello, and Matt with 4 fouls blocks it. Trice, he'll measure a 3 ball. He got it. We're back within 3. Valentine flips it into Trice. Trice dribbling around. Now to Payne. Here's for 3 in the tie. He got it. He got it. We are tied up in 8.7 seconds to go. Oh my goodness, what a shot by Payne.
What a great play. They used Gary Harris as a decoy. Payne came off the screen wide open, knocked it down. What a play by the All-American.
Well, he gets it to Jackson. Everybody retreats defensively. Here comes Jackson. 5 seconds left. He breaks to the basket. He fires. He got it. Jackson nails it with 2.1 to go. Now 1 second from half court. Trice fires. He almost made it. He almost made it.
Travis Trice hit the rim, and it looked like it might have dropped. It hit softly, too, but...
I mean, we had a lot of tough shots we had to take tonight, and you got to give them a lot of credit.